If you want to start a video podcast and don't know where to start, here are things that I learned in my time having 5 different shows, a lot of different formats that are consistent with starting a podcast each time. I'm Dom Jackson of Day by Day Media, and let's get into it. The show name. Does it matter? Short answer, yes. Long answer, no. When someone's looking for your show, they're going to look for something and find something.
What's the name of our show?
Forgot the name, but we're 2 blanks and a pod. And the name is the first way to get someone in who hasn't found your show yet already. Does it have to be exactly what your show is about? That depends. If your show is about you and your interests, Joe Budden Podcast, Joe Rogan Podcast, tons of podcasts out there, tons of shows out there with people's name and face being the vehicle of it. But if they don't know who you are, it's harder for them to find it. 2 somethings in a pod.
There you go. 2 somethings.
We might have to make the podcast 2 somethings in a pod.
I think so.
So when you pick your name, you can either pick something that's very easy for people to find, that tells them exactly what it is in the beginning, or pick something that is more fluid, and then you can grow into your name. How many episodes did you make? Here's what you think about this. You can either have a continuous show you do once a week. That's a good cadence to start with, and get 52 episodes out. Once a week, boom, 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 boom. Or you can do it in series of 10, series of 5, series of 8. There's a lot of options you can do number-wise as well. All I can say is when you start doing it, make sure you're consistent. Intros and outros. I definitely always recommend having an intro to the show, especially when you're getting started off if no one knows who you are, because every time you start a show, someone gets a new chance to meet you. So you want to introduce yourself every single time. 2 somethings in a pod.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I'm your humble, gracious, grateful, and highly favored host, Joe Budden, here with a few really cool people.
Every time, because your goal with your show is to have people continue listening to the show. And people that know you already are just going to be like, oh, they won't even hear them anymore because they're so used to hearing it. And people that are new coming in, introduce them and welcome them in. The outro is also something that you can think about too, the opening and closing of the book of your show. Consistency is definitely tough. I think the biggest mental thing that kept me going most of the time is when you make your episodes, do everything you can to promote them and grow them, but you are making your episodes for people that are going to watch it later. So, someone's going to catch you at episode 327. What equipment to get in the beginning?
Let me upgrade you.
I have a whole video on that, but basics all you need. If you get a mic, camera, and a ring light, you can be good. I got a full video on all the setup stuff right here. You can watch that, but keep it as simple as possible. The goal is just to start and continue regardless. Work through all the issues and the things you're going to go through. When we started our show, we started off with just a camera, microphones, recording into Audacity and just talking on the mics.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find a little ping
to put right there. I don't think I didn't even have a mic cover on the microphone for the first one. Then we continued and growed and evolved, got better stuff, better information.
This is a real thing.
This is not.
Is it made up character?
I'm making it up.
Joe Dollar. Shout out Joe Dollar.
If you go and just keep going, it'll get somewhere. It'll get somewhere good. You just have to make sure you do it. A good goal to shoot for is that if you're doing it, try to improve one thing each episode, and then try to improve a piece of equipment each month, so that way you can adapt and have something to shoot for each time. Grow, so that it's a process of continuing the evolution. How to get comfortable on camera. So it's one of those things that you just got to practice like any other muscle. You got to keep training it, putting yourself on camera as much as possible. And you don't have to put it out. I think a lot of times people get scared on camera because they're scared someone else is going to see it. It's one thing that I did for myself personally when I first started putting out content as a whole. I spent 30 days before I put my first Snapchat out in 2016 of me just making a little vlog every night to myself in a camera.
I mean, yeah, that's a perfect use that you just described there.
Just talking about my day. Like, hey, I did that. And it made it so much easier because I was like, all right, well, at least I know I'll see this. And no one else has to see it. But I still got to practice, the enunciation, the movements, the talking. Because there's so much stuff that goes into talking on camera that you don't even consider until you do it enough times. It's like, oh, I could have did that better. I got to project more. Do you need a guest initially on the show?
It's a wild question. Wild question to ask your buddy.
If you're a solo show, if you love it enough or know it enough, you can talk the entire time and keep an audience entertained the entire time. No problem. Because that is the easiest thing for you to do because it's just you just being you. Now, if you're doing an interview-based show, you're going to need a guest because you got to have a guest. I do recommend guests because it's good to have that extra back and forth, a little extra spice that someone else brings.
Oh, you're officially something.
You
now.
are something.
You've been inducted.
I just became something?
Oh, damn right.
Their personality, their style, their thought process makes it huge. At the same time, I'm also all about starting and making consistent progress. So if you want to make it a guest every 4th episode, every 10th episode, or have it all guests and then be solo every 9th episode, it depends on what model you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. But the guest thing is a great factor. You know, when we went through our show and it was 2 co-hosts, but then we had a guest every couple of times randomly.
So anyway.
A lot of people have different styles that work better for them. You got to figure out what works the best for you. I personally like having a docket.
There's a couple things on the docket, but today's going to be a free-flowing freestyle and a lot of reminiscing with good friends.
Yes, sir.
So I have bullet points of what we're going to talk about. Me and Ozzy had bullet points of what we were talking about on each episode of the show together. I still do that now, whether it's with Ozzy by myself or with an interview. Like, these are things I definitely want to cover so I can just remember boom, 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 boom. Because the art of the show itself is a free-form, flowing river of conversation and thought and ideas. And it can go anywhere, which is great. The question is where it's going where you want it to go and where your listener wants it to go. Because a ship without a destination is just going to be in the ocean. Where to record your podcast? A lot of different options out there. If you're just getting started, I think the easiest way to get started is just to have everything all in one. A Riverside FM, Podcastle, StreamYard. One of those places where you can record all your things in one place. Set up your camera, your audio, and your microphone all in one place to have everything rocking together. That way you can just hit record, have your show ready. Where to edit your show? You can edit it on the platforms, like I said earlier, from Riverside, Podcastle. They have it included inside the platform, the way to edit it. Other things you can do if you're just getting started, there's iMovie. If you have Apple, you can use CapCut on your phone. You can use InShot on your phone. These are all apps that you can use to edit things. You can do DaVinci Resolve. You can download that. It's free, and it's a great editing software. I personally edit most of my stuff in Premiere Pro. My main thing is find one and stick to that one and just learn all the things you can, because there's so many new things that go into setting up a show and having produced that you need to get it set up. If you got the cash flow for it, have someone do it on Fiverr. I had that for a while too, and just make sure you have them understand what things you want done. It's a great setup. Bonus tip number 11 is just get started.
Now, there's the moments when hard work pays off, and then like moments of growth that you kind of hit that new milestone.
Get started and find the setup you need to. I have a full video on the podcast setup equipment right here. You can check out, watch this video, all the gems.